Hi and welcome to Whitetail Edge. On this week's show, you're going to join new team member Corey Meinke as he harvests a great buck with his muzzleloader.
I don't even know what to say.
Unbelievable.
But you're also going to see Corey film his fiancé, Jacoby, kill a great deer, her first buck ever in Ohio. Stay tuned, you're watching Whitetail Edge.
Was this deer taken during the archery season?
How can anybody do this, man?
For archery, press 1. For gun, press 2.
Welcome to Season 2 of Whitetail Edge.
What type of bow was used?
We killed 11 bucks, averaging 161 inches across the board.
For a buck with antlers, press 1.
We hope you enjoy it.
Whitetail Edge is presented by Black Widow Deer Lures.
Well, I'm Corey Meinke, 30 years old now, and I live in the big town of Sugar Creek, Ohio, in Amish country. Going into deer season, it's almost always a one deer game for me. I'm starting to get my fiance into it. We're getting married on September 9th of this year, and she's really getting into it. We killed her first buck this year, and she loves it. So opening evening, we're heading out to a stand where we're in about an acre-and-a-half chunk of woods just off the edge of a swamp. It was perfect. Everything was set up to kill this deer. We had a red moon, and it was meant to be. You know, next thing you know, here come the bucks. They're pouring out of the swamp.
There's 2 big bucks over here.
What?
There's 2 big bucks over here.
Where?
To my right.
Meh, meh.
There was one twig in that shooting lane, literally one twig the size of a pencil, and she shoots and that twig just breaks off. You can just see in Jacoby's face, she's just emotionally crushed. So now it's the 3rd weekend of the season. She turned around and she looked at me and she said, "It's gonna happen tonight."
Gotta kill him tonight. Tonight's the night. I think he just went down. I think you realize what deer that is, don't you? That's Slick. That's your deer.
Alright guys, we just got back here to the site of impact, and there's a lot of blood, like we said. Don't like the shot like we said before, but he's pouring blood. We think we heard him crash. Right there he is. He's right there, babe. He didn't go anywhere. Right there he is.
Can't push me.
This is a deer we call Slick. He's a 3.5-year-old. He's got an absolute just tank of a body. I don't know what this deer's gonna weigh, but one of the biggest bodied 3-year-olds I've ever seen. He's laying 30 yards from where she shot him. We had absolutely a red carpet the whole way here.
For us, spending time in the tree together is as good as it gets. To be sitting in the tree with her, her first kill ever, and to see the way her face lit up when we heard that deer go down, it was just, it's indescribable. There's nothing better than that. That's literally as good as it gets.
So why does Whitetail Edge use Black Widow deer lures? It's 100% pure whitetail deer urines. It's never brown or broken down. Black Widow deer lures are always fresh, collected and bottled within 24 hours of collection to guarantee freshness. So why should you use Black Widow deer lures? Because it works. Visit www.blackwidowdeerlures.com.
For me, basically, Whitetails is a 365-day-a-year thing. Right after season's over, you know, we're feeding deer in late season, getting them healthy throughout winter, and it goes into spring, and you've got shed hunting and food plots, and it just never stops, you know. Big whitetails and figuring out a specific deer are what pushes me to the max.
Deer have been pounding this mineral. They're loving this stuff. We'll see some big bucks on this camera.
Meany's a buck that I've watched for 3 years. He was a strong 2-year-old. As a 3-year-old, he made a very nice jump. And this year, as a 4-year-old, he put on 2 unicorn points. And I couldn't quite get those out of my head. I didn't want to kill him as a 4-year-old because he would have exploded into a giant. But those were so cool and unique. He doesn't summer on my property at all. He shows up within 3 days, give or take, of opening day of bow season every year. And then he's a deer that you don't get a bunch of pictures of. He was a hard deer to figure out. Before muzzleloader season, Wes calls me up, and Wes was running the website for Ben for Whitetail Edge. And at that point, I wasn't associated with Whitetail Edge at all. And Wes said, let's go film. So that morning, I told Wes, I said, we have no chance of killing this deer. I've got 342 hours in the tree stand, and I haven't even laid eyes on this deer.
Right here, right below. That's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. Do you want me to stay put? Do you want me to stay put? He's coming. Right to left, right on the road. Are you kidding me? There's 3 more down the bottom. Are you kidding me? Guys, I have not seen that deer this year. I have not seen that deer one single time this year. According to my log, I've got almost 350 hours in the tree this year, and we have yet to see that deer. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right there. You work all year. You work your tail off, and you hunt, and you hunt, and you hunt, and you hunt, and you never get to see the deer. You get down to muzzleloader season, you're so frustrated. You gotta keep working at it.
He's right here, 5 feet. I'm looking down the hill, he's laying dead right here.
Are you kidding me?
This is Meany, 4-year-old that we've been watching for 3 years now. He walks right into my line of sight at about 50 yards. I turned around, Wes gave me the go-ahead, and we dumped him. That's why you work and you work and you work and you put in your food plots. It all comes together in about 3.5 minutes on a snowy January morning. First day of muzzleloader here in Ohio. It just doesn't get any better than that. Sometimes you feel like you appreciate it more after a year like this where you work your tail off and then it all comes together in the end. It was just a beautiful, massive 4-year-old Ohio giant. Couldn't be happier. It's Sunday, March 19th, and we're out here to frost seed some game changer clover into the plots.
You know, it's really worked out. He proved himself first year right off the bat, killing a great buck. He sure is not lazy. He puts a lot of effort into his stuff. He weighs about 120 pounds because I think his mind and his body runs just like a weed eater. He just like, you fill him up with 2-cycle gas in the morning and you start him up and he just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes 100 miles an hour until he just runs out of gas. And then he probably just falls on his face and sleeps right there. And then Jacoby just fills him up with gas in the morning, starts him up, and he takes off again, and there we go. So that's Corey Meinke for you. He's even got a weird name, but he's a great guy, and he's a super fit for our Quickie Whitetail Edge team.
Stay tuned for scenes of next week's episode. Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Black Widow Deer Lures, Hoyt, Rocky, Hawk Tree Stands, Rogue Bowstrings, Redneck Hunting Blinds, Rage Broadheads, True Fire Releases, Ohio Food Plot Services, HHA Sports, Antler King, HD200 Ionic Mineral, Upwind Odor Elimination, Big Time, Black Eagle Arrows, Bronc Box, Exodus Trail Cameras, Wicked Ridge Outfitters, and by Woodbury Outfitters.
I think we just ruined his night. Let's go get this buck. Massive blood trail. Those Rage hypodermics tore him up. So that thing that Rage made a mess of him.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.